Good morning, good day, good evening, whatever your time zones may be, it doesn't matter, you are here for VRL and VRL only. Round 11 today. America's at the heart of Texas. We've got 16 drivers, I believe we have one or two more joining throughout this qualifying session to compete the 11th round of Season 5 of VRL. Formerly known as IGK Gill, he's left IGK. Still, nevertheless, car, IGK Domi, slightly behind his championship rival by about half a second at the moment. That first lap time of Gill looking extremely strong there, as Max in the Racing Point and doing a good job up in second. You get the feeling if Max would have been here since the start of the season, he really could have challenged for the championship. Very strong pace. Wakanda Raring up in fourth, had a disappointing day yesterday in F2. But we've seen a few times throughout this season that, you know, the guys who do F2 the day before really can really use it as a marker for the race, and it's almost like an extra practice session for them. And yeah, they definitely use that to their advantage. So we could see someone like Wakanda Raring. You can see right now ahead of Luke and Nick, who's there in 5th Pollution Bowl, only 6th Championship Challenger Pollution Bowl as well, down in 6th position. He'll want to improve on that lap. Sem, defending champion. Remember, back to this time last season, Season 4, it was a 1-2 for Racing Point, a team that Sem was driving for at the time. He was leading the race before, I think it was on the last lap, he got overtaken by VRT Luke, who would go on to win the race. We all thought that could be costly for Sem's championship challenge, but he did end up winning. But unfortunate to say that I don't think, or it's actually impossible for Sem to have a run at the championship after what's been such a disappointing season for not only the Mercedes driver but the Mercedes team as a whole. And the Mercedes team principal Matthijs van Duren would be too happy at all with the performance of his boys. See Sem coming into the pits now. We got VRT Benjamin on his hot lap, or his out lap I should say. Who else have we got on a lap? Returning today is Compassion, actually, VRT Compassion, an early championship contender, ended up leaving due to clashes with school, with his personal life, but he's back in today for the Racing Point team, stepping in for one of their drivers. You have to remind me who it is, but yeah, Compassion, I think he's invalidated his lap and is returning to the pits, but it would be interesting to see what pace he's got after not racing in VRL for a while. A little bit further forward, iQuick session, as you can see, he's been joining and leaving, so we'll have to see Felix racing as well today. Felix's teammate, Tim, up in 7th. Tim's been getting there with his performances as of late. He started off quite poor, actually, at the start of the season. But yeah, his form's starting to turn around, and 7th isn't bad. He'll be looking to score some good championship points. There's Tim currently only a P11 in the standings, tied on points with Matthijs Gamer. Matthijs Gamer currently down in 10th, so that's a little battle we'll be watching, but the main battle we are watching is between IGK Domi and Gill. Gill currently in the lead, half a second clear of his championship rival, but Domi is 21 points clear. And 22 points clear. Gill just 1 point ahead of Pollution Bolt, down in 3rd in the standings. So it really is a 3-horse battle for this championship, the Season 5 championship here in VRL. And here is VRT Benjamin through the final sector. Let's see what his lap time's looking like. We can't see any delta at the moment. It's all looked pretty neat for the mere few corners we've been on board with him for. Welcome everyone on the live stream. Hope you're having a good day. Through the final couple of corners, easy to invalidate there. Benjamin keeping it well within track limits. Back on the power, stamps on the loud pedal, DRS activated, and it's slowest out of anyone, a 30.7, and Benjamin's going to have to improve on that. It didn't look necessarily slow from when we were on board with him, but clearly he's got some pace to find if he wants to challenge the upper echelons here. We've got a driver going up, I believe that's Jamil, up in 4th position. Not a bad lap from him, 6/10 off pole position. Jamil's had a bit of a wretched season so far. Qualified in 3rd, and Silverstone got turned around by his teammate. It's kind of been the trend of his season, and really not scoring many points at all, unfortunately for him. Not even in the top 20 of the driver standings, so he's going to look to rectify that today. 4th isn't a bad position for him at all. Currently though, IGK Domi setting a purple sector 1. We can see all that information thanks to the IGK TAS system they provide us, so a big thank you to IGK Esports for providing us with the telemetry analysis system. IGK Domi fastest sector 1, a 24.0. That's about half a tenth quicker than the current fastest sector 1 set by IGK Gill. Domi down the main straight now, braking hard into this left-hander, small lock-up on the front left. That's not going to hinder him too much now, as we'll have his sector 2 split coming up shortly. It's not a purple one, it's slightly slower, about a tenth slower than IGK Gill, or Gill I should say, no longer registered under the IGK name. That's going to take some time to get adjusting to. Looks like right now he's ever so slightly behind the time. Needed to beat Gill, probably about a tenth down. We'll have to find that time in the final sector, where Gill did have an absolutely almighty final sector, 29.0 in the final sector for Gill. What can Domi do as he crosses the line? Is it enough for pole? It's not. He about half a tenth's loss in the final sector, and Max as well though in the Racing Point, a personal best in sector 1. Sector 2, he actually hasn't improved, gone about 4 tenths slower than his previous best, so I'm not sure if this is going to be a lap to shout about for Max unless he can find a lot in the final sector, and he does actually back out of it. May have invalidated it there at the final corner, or the penultimate corner I should say. Wakanda Raring's gone up into 4th position there. We missed that strong lap from him. The McLaren guy's looking strong at the moment, 4th and 2nd at the moment. In terms of constructors, they are in 2nd place, chasing down Scuderia Ferrari, who are currently in the lead on 244 points. Ferrari only with 1 driver today though, so if McLaren are going to capitalise, they're going to want to be doing it now. Felix, looks like we got a bit of a train here. Tim, however, in the other Alfa Romeo, looks like he's improving. 2 green sectors to his name, not purple, not necessarily lighting up the timesheets, but here he goes through the final corner, bit loosey-goosey, jumps up into 7th position, just behind the 2 Red Bulls of Nick and Jamil respectively. Inclusion Balls invalidated his lap in what seems to be a relatively poor qualifying for the Dutchman so far. Got a lot of drivers coming into the pits now. Sam still yet to improve, he's just gone on a lap, I believe that's the best he can do. Gill extends his advantage, a 28.9 there for Gill, really strong lap time. He set a purple sector 2 on them soft tyres, a 28.9, that's the time to beat. And I do have to say Gill marginally slower than Domi in sector 1, but other than that he's got an absolute stranglehold on the rest of the field, and I think would be anyone's bet for pole right now. That Ferrari looking really comfortable around the streets, around the circuit of the Americas. Here's Plusion Bull, assumingly he's going to pit. He is. Have we got anyone else on the lap? Nick has invalidated. Benjamin 4 seconds down. It looks like everyone just gearing up for their final runs of the session now. That does seem to be the case. Oh, the poor gamer. Benjamin retiring from the session in the pits actually, so that's clearly the best he can do. It's been pretty poor for Williams so far. 11th and 12th, they're currently sat in 7th in the Constructors' Championship, just 5 points behind the Haas F1 team, and then a further 3 points behind Aston Martin Red Bull Racing. So they've definitely got a fight on their hands for P5 in the Constructors' Championship. And they're going to want as many points as possible with just, I believe, 5 rounds left in the season. But Darth FIFA now on his outlap. What can he do on his return to VRL? Currently 12th. Not the best of qualifying sessions. I don't think he'll be too impressed with that. But Darth FIFA always had a reputation in VRL for, not necessarily being on top in the qualifying sessions. However, he'd always seem to put it right in the race, picking up multiple podiums. He was actually an outside shot for the championship last season in Season 4. Things, of course, did not go his way. Not going to be able to rectify that this season, stepping down to a reserve. Let's see what job he can do for Williams. I'm sure Stein Kustra, the Williams team principal, will be very keen for his 2 drivers to elevate themselves up into the points. But 11th and 12th, if they can hold that grid position, might not be shocking given the free choice of tyres. Tyre degradation here on the softs is usually quite high. Usually on the front left and the rears usually get a little bit unhappy around this circuit, especially with the flurry of low speed corners. A lot of emphasis on traction, just like here, turn 1. Thomas hooks up that apex quite nicely, I have to say. Turn 1 is one of them slow speed corners, really important to get on the power early, but with that comes the risk of churning up your rear tyres. Awesome little sector here based off Maggots and Beckett's from Silverstone before we go left down the hill and climbing back up the hill now. Important to keep it within the track limits. Darth FIFA does that just well. Plummeting back down the hill now into the next of these slow speed corners. Traction very important here as we're running onto the long back straight. It's a green sector 1 for Thomas. About 3/10 off at the moment the pole time, so I don't think he's going to be challenging the upper echelons, but he certainly could make a break into the top 10 if he keeps this clean, braking hard into this left-hander slow speed back on the power. This is where the rear tyres are really going to start hurting. Slow speed, power, brake, turn, brake, power. It's all about traction here. It's all about keeping the rear tyres alive when it comes to the race. However, there's no tyre management. In fact, this one qualifying lap, it should be the final lap Thomas has, unless he's fueled for 2 laps through the final corner, second final corner I should say. 2 green sectors for the Williams driver. Is it going to be enough to break him into the top 10? Diros open as he crosses the line. No, it's only P11. He should have enough time if he's got enough fuel in the tank to back off and go again. However, looking at his dash, 1.6 laps of fuel, I don't think he's going to make it back round for another lap, so that might be the best Darth FIFA is able to do. But in terms of the free tyre choice, he's best placed to break into the top 10. iQuicks has invalidated his lap time. He will have another chance to go again, presuming he's got enough fuel, which he should have. Compassion as well on his outlap. And looking now at Max, he set a green sector 1. Slightly disappointing in the middle sector. How can he do? Gill was so strong in the final sector. Is he even able to hold anything up to that lap time? He goes up into P2, just over 4/10 off Gill's time, which at the moment does look completely untouchable. He was a green sector 1 and sector 2 for the Racing Point. What's Domi able to do though? He has just started his lap. We're also keeping an eye on Jamil, who's also on his lap. I can't seem to move my driver select button, so we'll have to flicker through them. But oh look, Domi's invalidated his lap time. Domi through the first sector there has invalidated his lap time, and he won't get another chance to go again. So third is the best Domi is going to do on the grid, and in a race where he really needed to score well to extend his championship gap over Gill, currently sat at 21 points. Doesn't look like he's going to be best placed on the grid to do so. Tim Wenting further down, green sector 1. He's 1.5 tenths up on his best lap. TTVI Quick setting a green sector 1 as well. Wakanda wearing a 24.2 in the first sector. That's about 2 tenths off his teammates purple sector 1. We got green sectors coming up all over the place. Pollution Ball starting his lap now. He's going to want to jump up from 8th, because remember, he's still in the championship fight. Luke and Nick with the green sector 1, a 24.1 in the first sector, a 24.2 for Wakanda wearing, a 24.1 for Tim Wenting, who we are following now. I think he got a nice toe there off, I can't quite tell who it was, but a purple, well, it's flashing up as a purple sector 2 here for Tim. It's actually not an improvement, a 36-1 in the middle sector. That's slightly disappointing and may knock him off the chance. Jamil unable to improve. He's retired from the session. Tim now. Is he able to break up? He's got about 2/10 to the two Red Bulls. I think he'll consider it like a successful qualifying if he's able to jump ahead of them. He's ever so slightly up on his best. Let's see what he's able to do through the final corner. DRS activated. It's up into 5th position. Good luck there from Tim. I think that will be his best qualifying of the season so far if he can hold it. Let's turn our attention now. Gil is on a lap, but it doesn't look like he set a purple sector 1. We'll follow that closely. Here comes Luke and Nick. Max retires from the session. Max, Luke and Nick, green sector 1, yellow sector 2, and he's not able to improve on his time. 3,000 slower than his original time. Compassion jumps up into P9. Let's see what Plusionball has got in the tank. But first, I believe Gil, oh, that's an invalidation there. I don't think it's going to matter too much because I'm pretty sure he had pole sealed and delivered. Plusionball is going to back off. He set 2 red sectors, and unfortunately it's only going to be 9th for the driver who sits 3rd in the championship, so he's got a recovery drive and a half to make. iQuicks didn't set a time because he did invalidate that lap time. Matthias Gamer only 14th. Sem, the driver who was on pole here last season, I believe, 15th. That's really poor. Push Ball into the pits, and here's the final qualifying order. What a job from Wakanda, up in 4th to be just 2/10 off his teammate. Exactly 2/10 actually, so a really good effort from both McLaren drivers, I have to say. 3rd and 4th, that's going to do great for them in the Constructors' Championship if they can convert that. But Gil, absolutely dominant. 4/10 clear. It's not very often you see gaps like that in VRL. But when you do have to congratulate them. Gil on pole again in VRL. Max up in 2nd, managing to get in between the two ex-IGK teammates. Wakanda 4th, I have to say that's an impressive lap time for the all-Italian driver lineup at McLaren. He could score more points than he scored in F2 yesterday. Tim up in 5th, best qualifying of the season. The two Red Bulls 6th and 7th. Nick Mania was a quiet 8th. We didn't comment on him actually. Jamil getting out qualified by his Red Bull teammate. Plusionball only 9th, and he's really going to have to step up his game or else the championship might fall out of his grasp, I should say, sorry. And rounding out the top 10 was Compassion on his return to VRL. Felix will be the first of the drivers with a fresh set of tyres for the race. Dar FIFA and Ardipol Game of the two Williams lineup 12th and 13th. Matthias Game at 14th. 7 2004 is only 15th. Really disappointing day from him, and TTV iQuicks rounds off the back of the grid. I don't think we'll have Nick Pancras joining us actually for this race. He was penciled in to join. He's had a few errors. We'll have to see. As we're here in an overcast. Certainly overcast circuit of the Americas. We wait for Gil and Benjamin to load in. We'll get the formation lap going. So yeah, just confirmation there. We do have 14 rounds. Next week we'll jet off to Mexico City before going to Interlagos the next week, then taking a short 1 week break for ending our season as always in Abu Dhabi. Night race there. So yeah, just after today, just 3 races to go in VRL season 5. So it's really flown by. I remember starting season 4 not too long ago, but here we go. Before we start this race, obviously a big thank you to IGK providing us with the telemetry analysis system. We can see everything that's going on, from weather to pit stop to damage to overtakes. Even the live championship standings we can see, although it may be a little bit tricky to interpret for me whilst I'm trying to commentate at the same time. We usually try and do 2 commentators, however Sam obviously stepping down and Jackson not being available. Hope you get well soon, Jackson. But here we are. It was a good race last time out, and all of the top 11 starting on the soft tyre, and then from Darthifa down to Iquix, opting for the medium tyre. Just a reminder, top 10 drivers have to start the race on the set of tyres they qualified on, so we could be seeing drivers at 5-6% wear of tyres, which obviously kicks in. The more wear the tyres get, the quicker the wear out as they grip less, and you have to use more of the surface area of the tyre to rotate the car. But Gill in the lead. He's already got 5 wins to his name this season, I believe. Can he make it 6? He's actually giving the VRL Hall of Famers a run for their money with most wins ever in the series. It's very rare we see anyone dominate like this. But as I said, when you have it, you've got to relish in it. Welcome to everyone on the stream. Congratulations to Karim winning the F2 Championship yesterday. Meanwhile, we've got all 16 drivers on the grid for the 11th time in Season 5. It's 5 red lights and it's lights out, and away we go. A great start from Max. It looks like he's going to get down the inside of turn number 1. He's not. Gill chops off in front of him. There's Tim further back looking back on both of the McLarens. Wakanda Raring round the outside of his teammate. It looks as if they're keeping it quite clean. No instance down the hill into turn number 2 and turn number 3. Gill leads the pack away side by side. That's Tim getting ahead of Wakanda Raring, who's dropped back. He's under pressure from Plujeball, who's made up a couple of places, and Jamil's had a really bad start, dropping down into 11th position. We wind up the hill now. Max right on the gearbox of Gill, who's being followed by Domi. Tim Wenting up into 4th position. What a start for the Alfa Romeo driver. Plujeball up into 6th, also gaining a couple of positions. He's under pressure from, that is Luke and Nick. Felix has gained a couple of positions up from 11th into 8th position now. Compassion up 1 position. Nick Mania and Jamil falling backwards, who looks to be under pressure. Well, saying that, there's Iquix and Darthifa going side by side back to the front of the pack though. Gill leading Max, leading Domi. Tim Wenting still holding on to 4th position. And so far, and here we go, everyone keeping it very clean on the opening lap. Gill leading us away, 7th, 10th gap to the car behind. As Maxro keeping the pressure on, saying that Tim looking very racy now. I know it says he's in 2nd, he's in 4th. Right behind. DRS isn't enabled this lap, that's a glitch. But onto the 2nd lap, Tim right up, tucked behind the rear wing of IGK Domi for 3rd place there. It looks like Iquix has maybe had a moment, because he's gone off and dropped back behind his teammate. The 2 Renaults having a poor start. The 2 Red Bulls as well having quite a poor start as well. You can see Jamil dropping down 3 positions as well. Luke and Nick losing a position. The biggest gainer from the start will be either Plujeball or Felix, both having great starts. Plujeball right on the back of Wakanda Raring now. There's an updated pit stop strategy. We expect the soft tyre runners to come in around lap 9 for the hard tyres to run to the end. We might see some drivers extend to the medium tyre. Here comes Plujeball. Is he close enough? He's having a look on Wakanda Raring. He's going to go down the inside. They nearly make contact side by side into this left-hander. Plujeball's going to give him a good old shove. Wakanda Raring goes off the track. Is he going to throw it down the inside? He's not. That was a firm, robust move from Plujeball. He's looking to make up for a poor qualifying. Wakanda not able to come back at the AlphaTauri drive, and I have to say, strong move from Plujeball up into 5th. Wakanda dropping back now. He could be under fire from Luke and Nick, and Felix probably could be looking to score his 1st points of the season. Don't want to jinx anything here, but yeah, Alfa Romeo currently sat 2nd lap. Well, it probably won't be his 1st points, on 26 points for Alfa Romeo, but oh, there's a Haas off there at the last corner. That's but he's going to drop down to 15th position, or he's not. That must be some kind of a glitch there. Iquix is in the pits, so ignore me. Nick Mania very much still on the track. Tim up in P4. Currently a good start, however he's starting to slip back a little bit from IGK Domi. DRS is enabled this lap. And Domi is within that DRS range of Max. Max just falling back from Gil enough that he's not going to have the rear wing open, and the McLaren behind him of IGK Domi is a reminder, the championship battle. IGK Domi is in the lead, 21 points clear of Gil. He's also just 1 point ahead, Gil 1 point ahead of Plugenbol, currently down in 5th position. So if it stays as it is right now, the championship at the top is going to compress and Plugenbol will lose more ground. But IGK Domi just half a second back from Max. IGK Domi certainly looking very racy at the moment, as Max does pick up a 3-second time penalty. One thing to note as well, we've had no damage so far this race, so congratulations to all the drivers. It's not very often in a league race you see everyone keep it completely clean, especially I think back to season 3 here when we had Felix go over the top of the car. Felix a little bit more successful than that at the moment, up in 8th position, doing a good job keeping VRT Compassion behind. I believe Compassion did win, or at least cross the line first back in Vietnam at the start of the season, before things changed. He left that Racing Point seat and returning today to fill in, and not doing a bad job at all. I'm sure Racing Point will be chuffed if he's able to pick up at least a couple of points, doing a bit of a Hulkenberg. There's Jamil defending from Nick Mania, who we thought went off a couple of laps ago. He didn't. And they're still battling on. Nick Mania battling both these drivers, losing 3 spots from their grid position. Nick Mania looking strong right now. There's not huge gaps opening up between the field. Saying that we got a yellow flag. Is that Max? Max has gone off. Max has spun round. That's at the penultimate corner. As I said in qualifying, rear tyre temperature, you can see on his dashboard there, 117 on the rear tyres. So he's going to have to pit. He set a purple sector 1 that lap actually. So he's really pushing to make moves on Gil and trying to get away from Domi. However, he's gone downhill in medium tyres. That's going to be a stretch to go from the end. I'll be surprised if he can take them, possibly holding out for a safety car. He did keep it out of the wall, no damage, but yeah, it's a shame for Max, and he's going to have to push on. iQuick's retires in the pit lane. We've got a safety car. We've got a safety car. And I'd love to say why, but at the moment I really don't know. So that's gonna slash Gil's lead to absolutely nothing. Domi is gonna close right back up. Tim as well, up in 3rd position. Could be on for his first podium since sometime in season 4. Could have been Japan. Plugenbol up in 4th. He's looked extremely racy. Could have been that Plugenbol opted for more of a race orientated setup rather than 1 lap pure pace. Wakanda up in 5th as well. As I said, McLaren looking strong at the moment. So who's going to dive into the pits? Gil does. Does Domi? Domi does. Tim Wentic does. There goes Plugenbol into the pits as well. Wakanda stay. He does pit. So he's going to have to double stack with his teammate. Gil in and out quite swiftly, I believe. Is he getting held? No, he's not getting held. Hard tyres for these drivers. Domi onto the medium tyre. So that could all get very interesting. Felix has been held there. That's going to cost him quite a lot. That's a shame. Is he going to get jumped by Wakanda? Wakanda's been held so much. Oh my god, he's down into, what, 10th position now. Sem just ahead of Nick Mania. Sem's gained a few places throughout this. Max out in 10th, 11th position, 10th position, just ahead of Wakanda. Side by side out the pit lane. Felix dropped a position to 9th. Benjamin has gained throughout all that, up in 8th position. So every driver, other than Matthias Gamer, who's up in 2nd, currently splitting Gil and Domi, are on fresh tyres, and it's probably worth Matthias Gamer pitting, because unless he, you know, holds out, sticks to his strategy, goes onto the softs at the end and gets a lucky safety car or a VSC, I don't really think this is the smartest move from the Renault driver. However, nevertheless, Renault, bit of TV time, running for the sponsors. If things go his way, it could be great, but yeah, I think it's probably worth him pitting, because he'll end up last anyway, and at least he'll be last at the back of the train. But Jamil as well has lost, wow, so many places. He qualified 7th. He's doubled that and is currently down in 14th. Only got Darfifa behind him, who got held up behind his teammate Benjamin. So you can really see the guys who've double stacked, and it's hurt them. It's really hurt them. Compassion is up into 7th. He didn't double stack because if you remember, his teammate pit 1 lap before. But it really is 1 by 1 in terms of the teams, because Tim did end up double stacking with Felix. Felix probably got away with it quite well, but if you look at someone like Wakanda Raring, who was just a couple of seconds behind his teammate, went from 5th all the way down into 11th, and that's a shame for him. For a quick update in terms of penalties, I know the taskbot is doing a good job, but in terms of penalties, no penalties for the, well, anyone in the top 9. Meanwhile, Max has 6 seconds of penalty. Wakanda has 3 seconds of penalty. Nick Maney has 6 seconds of penalty. And iQuicks did have a 3-second penalty before he retired. In terms of warnings, no warnings for Gil. 1 warning, or sorry, 2 warnings from Matthias Gamer and Domi. No warnings for Tim. 1 warning for Plusion Ball. 1 warning for Luke. 1 warning for Compassion. 1 warning for R11 Gamer, also known as VRT Benjamin. 2 warnings for Felix. 6 warnings, as you know, 6 warnings for Max. 2 warnings for Seb in the Mercedes. 2 warnings for Jamil. No warnings for Darth FIFA. So yeah, Tim doing a good job, keeping it very clean, as pointed out by Andrea. Hot lap mode. I think hot lap mode's a big Tim Wentink supporter. Let's see what he's able to do today on them hard tyres. I'll be interested to see what them medium tyres can do. Is that, I don't know if Domi's shot himself in the foot, because the first 5 or so laps he'll be extremely strong in relative to Gil and to Tim and the cars around him, but you know, them tyres are gonna fall off. Surely they're gonna fall off, because if the safety car comes in at the end of this lap, which we're presuming it will, that's 20 laps on medium tyres. 20 laps, I don't know if anyone in the chat disagrees with me, but 20 laps is a fair distance to go on them medium tyres. We'll have to see, and this safety car restart really, well, the safety car has bunched up the field. It's going to be interesting to see who gets racing into turn number 1. It's a really wide run. I'm sure I heard something like you could get 14 cars sideways into it. So we've got 15 left in the race, so we'll have to see. Obviously at the apex I don't think you get 14 cars, but in terms of the run up to it, it really opens up a really good place for overtaking. Surprised we haven't seen loads of overtaking there anyway, especially with the DRS zone. But safety car in this lap, as expected. There is the Mercedes passing by. It's the Ferrari who leads us away. Gil now in control of the pace. He can go whenever he wants, as long as he doesn't pass the safety car before it's in the pits. So whether he wants to take us all the way up to the line or he wants to go now, it's completely up to him. The drivers behind him weaving to get some temperature into their tyres. Gil's going to round the final corner and absolutely floor it, it seems. Seems as if he's judged that quite well. Opened up quite a nice gap to Matthias Gamer. There goes Domi, looking down at the inside. This should be relatively easy for the McLaren driver on board with Tim here. Matthias Gamer puts up a little bit of a fight, but it's not enough. Domi up into 2nd position there. And Tim being pressurised by Plusion Ball. Looks like Plusion Ball has fired up them tyres a little bit better than the Alfa Romeo driver as they push on through the middle sector. Plusion Ball almost pushing Tim through the Maggots and Beckett complex there. Jamil picks up a 3-second time penalty for multiple warnings. Let's see if Tim is able to get past Matthias Gamer. He'll probably leave it until the back straight. Going to count on a good exit. There goes Plusionball down the inside. That was really from out of nowhere, side by side, out of the corner there, rubbing tyres. A little bit overtake mode enabled for both drivers. Gil has set a purple sector 2, or purple sector 1 I should say, in this lap. Plusionball down the inside like he did earlier. He's going to make contact with the Renault. The Renault's been spun around. That's surely going to be a penalty for Plusionball. We've got a bit of lag sending us all over the place. Matthias Gamer dropping down. Certain Stewart's inquiry will be put into that. It's all over the place here, but back to the front. BDG Gil leading the pack away. He has since left IGK, joining BDG, and his ex-teammate IGK Dummy is right on his back, pressurising away. But Tim up in third position. He did get a 5-second time penalty for gaining a place. That can easily be removed if the stewards deem it to be an unfair penalty. Here's the front wing of Plusionball as we go up the hill into turn number 1. Just to confirm, no damage for any of the drivers at the moment. The front wing looks healthy, nothing from the TAS system, and the drivers can't push on. Dommy, as I said, on the medium tyres is looking extremely punchy, and he's close right up to the back of his championship challenger. The championship leader currently in second. He's going to look to change that around by the time we get to the next braking zone. Got good traction. Believe Max has just moved past the Renault of Matthias Gamer, elevating him up into 6th position. Here goes IGK Dommy though. It's not quite close enough on the brakes. Gil looking very strong in a straight line, but through this final technical little sector, you'd think Dommy will be in a position to attack by the time we get round to turn number 1. A little bit further back, Tim still holding on to P3, opening a bit of a gap actually, to be fair to Tim. 0.8 of a second, and then further back it's really close behind probably Matthias Gamer, who's holding up a bit of a train that consists of Luke and Nick, Wakanda Rering, VRT Benjamin, Flix, Sam, Nick Mania, Jamil and Darth Viva, all held up in that train. Back to the front though. Gil leads us on to lap number 10 of this race. Dommy not quite close enough, so Gil's had a strong final sector actually. It was a 34.9 that lap for Gil, a 35.0 for Dommy, so Dommy losing out by about the 10th on that lap, even though he does have them softer tyres. There's Luke and Nick making a move past Matthias Gamer. They're going to slug it out side by side into the Mike Gitz and Beckett's copycat complex. And Matthias Gamer does stay ahead for now, but he's certainly starting to bottleneck the drivers behind him. You'd think it would be an easy move this lap, given DRS is enabled. Got a yellow flag. Nick Mania has gone off. I can't quite get a visual on that. Nick Mania off the track, however, and we've got another safety car. So, safety car number 2. Don't have any indication on what happened to Nick. I can tell you it was at turn 9, I believe. Turn 8. I'll have to count them. Turn 9, I was right, first time of asking. But a safety car. Now this is interesting actually, because if Tim chooses to pits, he will have to serve that 5-second penalty. However, I do believe that it could get removed, because it did seem an unfair penalty, because he did take avoiding action of Plusionball and Matthias Gamer. So yeah, it would be a shame for Tim if he's got to serve it now. And he does pit. Does he pit? He doesn't pit. He fakes to the inside. But it looks like most drivers might stay out. Someone like Matthias Gamer should pit in. He does. It's at this point drivers could take the medium tyre, which is why it would have been beneficial for Matthias to pit onto the hard tyre, or even the soft, and do a couple of laps and then go back onto the mediums, because yeah, Wakanda, Sam, Jamil and Darth Vifa, I believe, making the right strategy calls here to go onto the medium tyre. Someone like Dommy, I feel, should pit, because he's probably not going to get a better opportunity than this to pit and get off their medium tyres, because the safety car might help him, but I still don't think he'll be able to slug them out to the end of the race, and even if he does, they'll be extremely worn. I can tell you yesterday in the VRL F2 race, I think I did think it was about 14 laps, including a safety car, and my rear tyres were absolutely screaming. Now I'm sure some of these drivers may have superior tyre management to me, but still it's not really going to be accountable for an extra 6 laps, which is what Domi will have to run. Nevertheless, if he can do it, then fair enough. Just a little update on the standings actually. Compassion still in P5 in the standings, considering missing more than half the season. He is tied with Marine, who's now a reserve, not racing today. Bellina just behind on 30 points, who's tied with Max, who's in P8, who's also tied with Luke. So three-way tie on 30 points there. But if Max scores 1 point today, he'll move up into P7 in the driver standings. If he can score more than 13, if he can score 14 points, he'll be up into P5, which will be a good turnaround given the late entrant. Artipod Gamer as well, looking to move up a couple of positions, currently in 15th, 1 point behind Monster, in 14th, 2 points behind Luke Nick Koretka, and then a further 3 points behind Tim Wenting and Matthias Gamer, who are only 6 points off that trio of Luke, Max and Balner, which I mentioned a moment ago, on 30 points. So the lower midfield battle's looking really tight actually, and it's something we should definitely keep an eye on. Just a little update in terms of tyre wear. Domi has his car sat on 13% tyres. We've got Ardipel and Felix in the pits now. So I agree with this. I think this is the correct strategy call. Medium tyres to the end of the race. At the end of the day, they've got nothing to lose because they would lose out to the likes of the drivers behind them. Wakanda's gone onto the hard tyre, which I'm not entirely sure about. Get about a 5 lap fresher tyre advantage. Safety car should be in at the end of this lap. But yeah, Domi 13% on his tyres, Gil 10% on his tyres, so not a huge differential there. But as the stint goes on, then medium tyres will start to wear away quicker. And Max sitting on 18, 18 and 20% on his rears. So we expect Max to have to pit again, we expect Domi to have to pit again, but other than that, we've got everyone else in the pits, and not really sure what's going on there with Benjamin holding up Jamil. We'll have to see. But Felix, yeah, so Benjamin ignoring yellow flags. I assume what's happened there is he's got ahead of Jamil. Jamil's not given the position back. Or Jamil's not overtaking Benjamin because he get a penalty and Benjamin got a penalty for it himself. So that might be something we have to look into. We do see a few penalty glitches with the safety car in this game. But back to the front. Again, everyone on the live stream, thank you for watching. Hot lap mode saying compassion damage. Hot lap mode saying the truth. You can see 51 units of damage. So that's a good orange front wing, and that's such a shame. What's happened there? He must have run into the back of Pollution Ball to come in and box for, because yeah, it's not something he's going to be able to continue with. So he'll come into the pits. That'll promote everyone up a position and put him about 25 seconds off the pack, so he will need a safety car to salvage anything from this race. Back to Gil though. He's quite up close behind the safety car. He's still got the safety car very much in range as he weaves to get as much temperature into them tyres. Hot lap mode saying Pollution Goal did get a penalty. So compassion into the pits. Gil has gone for the second time out of 2. He's made it a good safety car restart. Tim not able to make a move on Domi. Pollution Bolt still pressurising Tim. It's important to note Pollution Bolt is under investigation for that incident, not only with Matthias Gamer, but now he's under investigation for the incident under the safety car with Compassion. We'll have to look into that. A decision will be made after the race. Make sure you follow Vision Racing League on the social media platforms for any update on that. But back to the front. Domi. He's got to make use of these medium tyres whilst he can. There's no way he makes another 15 laps on these tyres. Already looking at 15% wear. That's ticking up to 17% as we speak. He's got to make good use. He's got to clear his ex-IGK teammate Gil. and really, really get a move on and open up as much of a gap as he can. Tim was looking under pressure from Plugenball now under pressure from Max. Max, the second of the drivers on them old medium tyres. He's another driver who's really got to get a move on and start moving up and down. He's right up behind, and Plugenball looking a little bit slow. I've checked for damage. He's got no damage on his car. But yeah, just maybe struggling on the fire up of them hard tyres. You know, a hard tyre, well, it comes in the name, to fire up and get going. However, when they are fired up, they do have the longest durability, and everyone on the hard tyres right now will easily make the end. I have to say, Tim has really been a standout driver today. Qualified 5th, as he does pick up a time penalty. So, in terms of the drivers around him, 3 seconds. He's the only driver in the top 4 to have a time penalty. Max, though, 6 seconds of time penalty, and we know Plugenball is under investigation. But yeah, Tim, from 5th on the grid, up in 3rd place. He's looking really strong today. Domi is only 1 warning off a penalty. Gil has 1 warning, so he's 2 off a penalty. But yeah, Tim, I've been really impressed with his pace, and I think he'll be happy with himself. He's up, able to fight with the big guns, and I really hope this is a motivation for Tim going forward, possibly even into next season, because Tim's a fast driver. He showed that on many occasions throughout Season 4, Season 5 as well. Today, a prime example. Silverstone as well, when he's running up, battling with Domi before Domi did eventually hit Tim. But yeah, Tim up 2 positions and making a good job of it so far. However, it's important to remember we are only at half race distance, so much more can happen. It is VRL, but Tim has opened up a 1 second gap to the car behind. So that's exactly what Tim needed to do. What he's got to do from this point onwards, keep it clean and consistent. No more time penalties. The Plugenball does pick up a time penalty as we speak, so that equals him and Tim out. Domi though right up behind Gil, as I believe DRS has been enabled this lap. Tyres Game has just done a personal best lap. He's in 7th position. He did pit under the safety car, so things sort of going his way. However, I think Matthias Gamer will have to pit again. Jamil, you can see here battling with Benjamin. Benjamin has got through. Jamil's had a bit of an Alex Albon-esque race today, down in 12th position. He's probably not going to be too pleased with me when he hears me say that, but yeah, he needs to get a move on. He's quite a way off his teammates. Saying that, there's half a second gap between him all the way up, yeah, well, to the start of the field actually, back to the front. Domi looking very close. He's going to go down the inside of his ex-IGK teammate, I should say. Domi gets that move done, slightly deep on the brakes though. Gil says thank you very much, does the up and under, and moves up back into the lead. Domi says anything you can do, I can do better. Side by side now into this double left-hander, the slow stadium sector. They're going to keep it on the track. They make a little bit of contact, no damage there for either driver. Side by side now into this triple right-hander based off turn 8, 9 and 10 from Istanbul, and Gil holds that position. But what a battle we're having here between the top 2. Is it going to continue? Domi still on the back. He'll have a big helping of DRS. Gil didn't have an incredible run through that final corner. Gil aggressively defends the inside line. Here we go, Domi. He's going to go round the outside. What's Gil going to do? He places his car on the inside. Domi sweeps back underneath, moves up into the lead. Domi claims the lead on their medium tyres. And wow, what a battle between the ex-IGK teammates. IGK coming out on top is Jamil. He's retired from the session. He's gone off at turn 1, on the exit of turn 1. We've got another safety car, 3rd safety car today at USA. We'll ride on board with compassion to see what we can see from Jamil. But I said it's important for Red Bull to score some points, and they've got one driver. He's lost his one of his tyres there. But this is where someone like Domi needs to take the chance to pit. He can take the soft tyres, because when the safety car comes in, lap 18, 10 laps, should be able to make it to the end on then 10 lap old tyres. But a third Third safety car. I'm hearing that Jamil broke his left wing, so 100 damage. So that is obviously enough to have a turnover problem on the car and retire it. Darth FIFA posted his best lap of the race just before we had that safety car called, as did Sem and Matthias Gamer, as I mentioned. And Dommy still chooses not to pit. Gil does pit, so this is a bit frustrating, as does Tim. So I think what Tim's done, I'll do exactly what you do, and he boxes. So soft tyres, I assume. Yes, soft tyres. They've been listening to head of strategy Alex Bomberg on the live stream. Tim's gonna get held, unfortunately. Oh no, that 5-second penalty. That 5-second penalty for Tim we all forgot about. That's cost Tim. It's also cost Felix as well, who's had to be held, and he's going to be dropped to the back of the grid actually. Well, Compassion will pit, but shame for Tim serving that 5-second penalty, because right now he only lost 2 positions, but he is actually behind Sem. So Sem's actually done an alright recovery. Actually, it's been a few times this race he's failed to make it past the first 5 laps, or this season he's failed to make it past the first 5 laps, but yeah, we'll have to see. And with the safety car, you get the feeling RGK Domi, 30% wear on his tyres. It's a bit borderline. I don't think, well, certainly he might be able to make it without a puncture, but them tyres will be absolutely screaming. Matthias Gamer is very well placed, currently up in 3rd, with no stops left to make. Wakanda Raring, I can't see his tyre wear, unless he's an absolute tyre saving god and has got 0% on all of his tyres. I'd be very surprised. Tim has got an extra 3 seconds of time penalty, so he's up to 6 seconds now. But Plujinbol and Domi, 1st and 3rd in the championship as they stand, 1 and 2 at the moment. Gil down in 6th, but Gil certainly has the pace to make up that deposit, as does Tim. We've seen Tim today, he just needs to not get tangled up, and he's not that much slower than Gil actually, so Tim doing a good job in this race, and points are definitely, or good points, are on the cards for him today. We're talking about good points. How important will this win be to Domi? As I said, 21 points clear. At the top of the driver standings, to his nearest challenger BDG Gill, currently in 6th position on fresh soft tyres. Yuri PSV says Gil won't get past, according to himself, and Kerim obviously winning the Vrl F2 championship. Judging by Kerim's strategy at in Austria, I don't think Kerim's one to take advice from when it comes to tyres. But yeah, Gil will be so fast. Fresh tyres really do mean a lot here. And 11 lap hole, let's bear in mind, 30% wear on the tyres of Domi. That's only going to get worse as this stint goes on. Plujinbol as well, looking at 30% on his tyres. Initially he'll be slower than Domi, but if Domi does opt to stay out, Plujinbol will be quicker at the end. Matthias Gamer though, as I said, as Jimil has finally left the session, Matthias Gamer's best placed here. I'd even go as far as saying Matthias Gamer's probably effectively, well, he's not effectively in the lead because he's got Pollution Ball to pass, but you'd get the feeling on fresher, softer tyres, I believe we do have the safety car coming in this lap. I haven't had any confirmation, haven't seen that on the stream, but looks like Dom is preparing a safety car restart. Yeah, you get the feeling on fresher, softer tyres, Matthias Gamer could certainly make that move. And look, Darth FIFA as well, it's not one who's gone unnoticed, he's up in 5th position. Back to the front, Dommy gone slightly earlier than Gil always did. Let's see how them tyres hold up. Pollution Bolt second. Still pressurising, Gil already picked off one driver into turn number 1. And he's gonna be pushing the absolute rims off that Ferrari. Wakanda rearing right behind Matthias Gamer. As we mentioned, Matthias Gamer best placed in terms of tyres in the top 3. We do suspect Dommy to pit again. Pollution Bolt will make the end, but look at Gil already right on the back of Wakanda rearing. Will he try and hold up the Ferrari man? Ever so slightly jinx to the inside, but nothing he can do to counteract them fresh tyres. And Gil up into 4th position there, Sem pulling off to the inside, not sure what happened there. You really get the feeling that these soft tyres is going to be the way to go for Gil. A little bit further back, what's Tim doing? You can see Benjamin attacking Sem there. Tim has got ahead of Sem, so that's good news for him. Back to the front. Dommy still ahead. There's Gil making a move on Matthias Gamer already up into 3rd position. Wow, so that was, he's made up 3 places already this lap and only wants to keep it going. There's Felix making a move past VRT Compassion. You can see Max attacking Benjamin. He's going to try and go round the outside of the final corner. You don't see him move there very often. Fast lap of the race of 33.2 for Gil, and it looks like the soft tyre runners are really going to start to come alive there. There's Tim going down the inside of Luke and Nick. This is an important move. They're both on the soft tyres. Further back, Benjamin making a move on Max. Can Tim make this move stick? He's going to go around the outside. They're going to be side by side into the Maggots and Beckett's complex, and he does get ahead up into 7th position. Let's look at Gil still pressurising Pollution Ball. You get the feeling he's going to make that move right about now. I think Pollution Ball's gone a little bit wide, not an ideal exit, and this should be a very easy move. Got an absolute train of cars further back. Here comes Gil though. Pollution Ball defends the inside. I don't think there's going to be too much point defending, if I'm honest. Gil doesn't brake later around the outside. Is he going to go for the switchback? He can't, because Pollution Ball does defend that switchback very well. Further back, Tim has made a move on Darth FIFA, who's struggling on them medium tyres. So Tim up into 6th position. His next target is going to be Wakanda rearing. There goes Darth FIFA. Yeah, Benjamin down the inside of Darth FIFA there. 2 Williams switching places. Luke and Nick battling, who's really dropped off this lap. He's battling. There's Gil side by side with Pollution Ball into the penultimate corner. Pollution Ball cuts him off, but Dommy with a bit of an up and underline down the inside of the final corner. He goes. Pollution Ball's going to try hang it round the outside. That Alpha Tauri looking quite racy on them hard tyres, but you just get the feeling it's not going to be enough. Gil ahead now. He tucks out the slipstream. Pollution Ball going to look back down the inside. Very brave racing there from Pollution Ball, but it's not going to be enough on them harder tyres. He's not able to put up a fight. And Matthias Gamer starting to bottleneck everyone else, as Tim has got past Matthias Gamer, or has got past Wakanda rearing, I should say, down into turn number 1. We got a few time penalties coming up on the screen now. Benjamin looking down the inside of his left hand, very close between front wings there, and he's lucky he didn't get damaged and or get turned around, because that could have very easily been the end of Benjamin's race. He's looking to improve down the inside of this left-hander. He didn't want to wait until the back straight. He's up into P6, and there's even more battling further back. I believe that's Felix and VRT Compassion and Sem getting a move on further forward. Here comes Tim Wenting now down the inside of Matthias Gamer. DRS is enabled this lap. Great job there from Tim. He's going to be up into P4 soon. he'll have Plusion Ball, and you have the feeling that would be an easy move for Tim Wenting in the Alfa Romeo. With just 7 laps to go, what a race this is turning into. We've still got so much more action. This Compassion has retired from the session. Where's he retired? Can't quite see. Must have. Has he retired on track? Or he has retired on track, so you know, saying Hasta Vista for that one. Hopefully there's not another safety car. As Matthias Gamer does come into the pits, I believe that might be him anticipating a safety car. Strange decision there. Not something I would have done personally. But here, back to the front. Gill, we're here for round number 2. The roles are reversed. This time it's Gill on softer, fresher tyres. This is for the lead of the race. They've got such a gap to Tim, who Tim has got past Plusion Ball, I can confirm, for P3. This, however, is the battle for P number 1. Domi on them older medium tyres, who's really struggling. 45% of tyre wear compared to the 20% on Gill's car. Sam gets a 3-second time penalty. Let's see what the exit's like. Gill with such better traction than that of IGK Domi. He's going to open the DRS and I assume breeze past into the lead of this race. There you can see Tim moving on. Tim's got better pace. He's lapping quicker than the race leader. There goes Domi down the inside, not taking any risk, but a big look up there from Domi, who's going to go wide. It was Gill down the inside, sorry. Domi back down the inside, back for more. He's very aggressive on the brakes there. Gill doing a bit of a switchback line. Domi really wants to keep this lead, but you get the feeling it's only a matter of time until the lead switches hand. Domi down the inside there. Gill up and over round the outside. They're going to be side by side through this triple right hand complex, and Gill somehow not able to make that move. Domi holds on for the time being, but you really get the feeling turn 1 the move is inevitable here. If Gill can get a good exit, he'll open up the DRS, and all this battling is bringing Tim Wenting into the fight. Here we go, Gill around the outside. You get the feeling Gill, a very cautious driver, not taking any risk. Domi back down the inside, backing out of it, and Tim's really caught up into this battle. We could have a 3-way battle down the main straight. Max is up into P5, he's past Plusion Ball. Benjamin has also passed Plusion Ball up into P4. What a race he's having for the Williams team. Tim right on the back there, you can see, of BDG Gill. I can confirm Compassion did retire because he did get damage. But here is Domi still defending. There goes Gill down the inside. So finally a bit of aggression we can see from Gill after holding back in the last couple of laps. There's Tim all over the road. His rear tyres are really screaming. They are not in a good way at all. He don't want to continue that. Domi pressurising Gill all the way home. Is he going to look to the inside? He's not. Gill does defend the inside. There goes Tim down the inside. I'm not sure if there was a little bit of contact there. There was definitely 2 instances of contact later on in the corner. However, both drivers escaped that with no problem whatsoever. Tim's going to look down the inside of the McLaren. He makes that move. Great move there from Tim. Cleanly done. Up into 2nd place for the Alfa Romeo driver. Domi looking back down the inside though. Verstappen on Raikkonen-esque from 2017. This time they both keep clean. No time penalties for either of them. They're going to be side by side into the penultimate corner. Domi somehow holds it around the outside of Tim. Tim with the inside line naturally is going to take that position, but Domi now with the DRS. Will he be able to make that move? Domi, his tyres are really not in a good way, up to 50% now. Tim defending the inside line into turn number 1. Tim with a lot more oomph on the brakes. Domi comes back at him down the inside. They're going to be side by side down the hill, turning right now. Domi slots back in behind. He's not going to be able to make a move through this tricky Maggots and Beckett's complex. And wow, what's all going off here in round 11 of VRL Season 5. IGK Domi, the championship leader, starting to drop. Great news for Gill, as I mentioned, 21 points behind. What a battle indeed. This is great news for Gill as Domi drops back. VRT Benjamin right on his back, as is Max. So you really get the feeling that these 2 drivers really could make a move on the championship leader, and Domi could drop that back even into 5th position, which is just 10 points for his championship challenge. There goes Benjamin up into P3. Domi really strong on the brakes there, actually holding it around the outside. He does get a shove off the track there, and Benjamin up into 3rd position. We're now going to turn our attention to Max, who's really closing down on IGK Domi, I should say. Let's see what's happening. Domi, then medium tyres really starting to fall apart. He's got to pit 53% wear on them tyres. I'd be surprised if he makes the end, if I'm honest. Gill, there's Max locking up into the final corner. Gill set the fast lap of the race. He's got a really good gap over Tim. Who is looking racy is Benjamin, actually. Up in third, could challenge Tim for second. Benjamin 3 seconds less at time penalties than Tim. Domi does have 6 seconds, as does Max. Plujabol only on 3 seconds, however under investigation for that incident with Matthias Gamer, who's down in 12th. And closing up, actually. Yeah, Matthias Gamer starting to close up, however I don't think it's going to be enough with just 5 laps left to go. He pit anticipating a safety car, however that didn't come to fruition. Here is Max though. I think Domi's just about within the DRS range of Benjamin and Tim ahead. However, the racing point is right tucked up behind the rear wing of that McLaren. He's going to make a move down the inside. He was gaining in the slipstream. I was looking at the battle ahead of him. Down the inside went Max. He switched late. Domi swoops back ahead of him. Domi's made a habit of that up and under down at turn 10. Max still pressurising Domi as he defends the inside line into this double right-hander. I'll update you on Domi's penalties in just a moment, Kimmy. He's got 6 seconds worth of penalties, 8 warnings. Both Tim and him are on 8 warnings, so both 1 warning off a third 3-second time penalty, which will take their total to 9 seconds. There goes Max though. It looks like it's going to be a relatively easy move on the McLaren into turn number 1. No questions asked, and Max up into 4th position. Now Benjamin still pressurising Tim. Benjamin currently the pick for P2 at the moment because he's got 3 seconds less of time penalties and only on 3 warnings, so he can afford 2 more warnings before he gets another penalty, which is good news. In terms of Max, Max has also got 6 seconds of time penalties, 7 warnings. So yeah, Max has got to be careful he doesn't get another penalty. But Gill still running 0 penalties, 2 warnings, but he's got more than enough breathing room. 5 seconds to Tim. Let's see if Benjamin is close enough. He pulls out the slipstream. I'm not sure if these guys are just starting to work together. I think Benjamin will be aware of the penalty situation of the car ahead of him. He's a smart racer, Benjamin. He's gained 10 positions from where he started. Started 13th, currently running in 3rd. Tim as well, up 3 positions from his starting position. Here's Luke and Nick. Luke and Nick could actually start putting the pressure on RGK Domi because he's got 11 lap fresher tyres than the car ahead of him, as it looks like it will be a couple of laps until Domi's going to fall out of that DRS range. 60% tyre wear for Domi now, so he really is in that danger zone. We will focus on Ben there, up in 3rd place. Max though looks like he's got really good pace actually. Last time out he lapped 2 tenths quicker, or 3 tenths quicker than both of the cars ahead, so he's closing up and he could be involved in that 3-way scrap for 3rd position, or 2nd position I should say. It's important to remember Tim and Max both on 6 seconds of time penalties, Benjamin only on 3, so Ben is in the position to claim 2nd. ASDF Kimmy pointing out Steve's win record. Gill is really taking Steve's win record by the scruff of the neck at the moment. I'm not sure what the exact number is, but here comes Benjamin, not quite close enough on Tim to make the move. We're already on lap 27, so we've actually just got 1 more lap after this lap. Domi is actually making a move on Max on then 20 lap old medium tyres, which will be absolutely screaming. He's still putting up a fight. The really fighting spirit from Domi in the McLaren, the championship leader. Every point matters at this point. He's currently losing 15 points, which will put the gap to, I believe, just 7 points as we approach round number 12 in Mexico next week. As Domi's still pressurising, he should actually get this move because Max well out of the DRS. but still 66% wear on them tyres. Hot lap mode pointing out Steve, 7 wins. I believe Steve might have the most wins in VRL history. You'll have to correct me if I'm wrong, but Steve, I believe, has the most wins, but 3 consecutive, so Gil could be challenging that for the most consecutive wins in VRL history. Yeah, Hot Lamo confirming Steve does have the most amount of wins. However, you get the feeling Domi might take that record. I believe looking for a 6th win of the season today. Benjamin though, still right on the back. He's got overtake, he's closing up on the Alfa Romeo. Ben goes to the inside, he get this position on penalties anyway, doesn't want to take that risk. He makes that move down the inside and Tim has to back out of it. Further back, Domi and Max still battling. Max gets ahead of Domi, squeezes him out wide. That could leave him vulnerable to Luke and Nick. As Domi, as I said, 70% wear nearly on them tyres. I think he's going to be lucky if they hold up. He looks to the inside of Max. He's not going to be able to make that move, but back to the front. He's not the championship leader, but he's just taken a big fat deposit out of the lead of IGK Domi. BDG Gil crosses the line to win the American Grand Prix. The Frenchman closes in on that all-time win record in VRL. VRT Benjamin comes home to finish P2. He'll be happy with that. His first podium in a while. Darth FIFA finishes P2. I'm not sure if that is that must be a glitch. That must be a glitch. But Benjamin, I believe, finishes 2nd, unless Thomas had no penalties. And I'm right, Thomas had no penalties, so that elevated him from what I believe was 6th all the way up into 2nd. So Williams get a double podium here in USA. 2nd and 3rd for their drivers. Tom having no penalties throughout the whole race. Wow, and Domi, 6 seconds of penalties, relegating him down to 5th. What a crazy race! Both Williams guys double podium. They did that in they got a podium in VRL yesterday, VRL F2, doing the same, and as said, they've got points to make up on the teams around them, and they've very much done that. We'll have to see if any stewards' inquiries change them results, but nevertheless a double podium for Williams, and keeping it clean was the key for Darth FIFA. I said, and here we go, here's the results. It's actually Max's worst result in VRL since his debut. His previous worst was 3rd. It's also Domi's worst result in 5th, his worst finishing position. Plusion Ball as well, only 8th. His previous worst result was 5th. But in terms of best results, Benjamin's first podium of the season, his previous one being, and Wakanda Waring also scoring a season best, and Felix picks up his first points of his campaign, up in 10th position, or his first point of his campaign. It's the 4th podium for Gil. It's the 3rd victory of his season, I believe. I don't know if that's completely true from the IGK bot. I'll try and get the drivers in the party. We won't be able to hear from Gil, as unfortunately I don't speak French and he doesn't speak a word of English, but we should be able to hear from both of the Williams drivers. What a race that was for round 11. That really hots up the championship with Domi only 5th. And Gil taking the lead, so just 7 points will be the gap now at the top. We've got both Williams drivers in the party. First of all, congratulations. Second of all, just before we go into these questions, please make sure you're allowing your party audio to be shared so we can hear you on the broadcast. Awesome. Well, guys, congratulations. Thomas, you finished up in P2 after keeping it clean. It was certainly unexpected for us. Were you expecting to be elevated up to the podium positions?
No, I didn't expect it. I thought I would be like P5 or something after the penalties. But I didn't have any warnings this race. So yeah, I knew I would gain a lot of positions because of it. But P2 is really high, and probably Ben's penalties will be removed, so it will be P3, and maybe even Pleasantball's penalties. So yeah, but it's really unexpected, and I'm just sad because probably I will be P4 after all this. But my TV went out 3 times in the last lap, and it cost me 2 seconds, so that's just really unfortunate. I will probably be P4, but still a great result for the team with Benjamin in P2. So yeah, really happy.
Nevertheless, a great return as well. Obviously, you've been a reserve for Williams after stepping down at the start of the season. Were you expecting to finish up this high? Or were you just looking to pick up 1 or 2 points for the team?
I never expect it. I also didn't expect to ever come back, to be honest. But I made this decision, and I don't think Stijn will be disappointed after this great result.
Of course, congratulations to you, Thomas, and Ben, VRT Benjamin, congratulations, your first podium this season. How'd you feel?
I'm very happy, to be honest, Alex. I made like 3 pit stops and got a load of penalties for uncertain reasons. Jamil's AI stopped, and so I overtook him under the safety car, and then he was still in AI and he wasn't driving, so I couldn't give him the position back, and that's why I got 5 seconds. And also I got a 3-second penalty because Luke and Nick braked really hard, and then I had to avoid him, and then I went off track and I got 2 warnings for nothing.
Obviously something we'll be able to look in after the race. No, of course, and your first podium since sometime last season, so I'm sure it feels great. Obviously great points for the team as well. What was it like? Question to both drivers. I'll start with you, Benjamin. What was it like dodging safety cars? The strategy changed 2 or 3 times that race. What was that like?
Yeah, so the first safety car came out like lap 5, and it ruined Thomas and mine strategy for the mediums, so we pitted for hards, but those tires were absolutely awful. It was really low grip. Then another few safety cars, I don't know, and at the end I pitted for soft, Thomas stayed out, and then I overtook a lot of people with Tim together, and yeah, it was really fun at the end.
Thomas, anything to add?
Yeah, of course, that first safety car really ruined it, to be honest. But then the other safety cars I went for mediums. I pitted for mediums, and then at the third safety car I decided to stay out, wanting to not hold Ben in the pits. But I think after all it was maybe a wrong decision to stay out. I didn't expect the softs to be that good for such a long time. But yeah, I'm just really happy for the team, and we maybe have a double podium with separate strategies. So yeah, just great race.
And in terms of where you came from as well, both of you gained 10 positions from your starting grid. I'm not sure if you were made aware of that, but IGK TAS, 10 positions, both of you up from your starting grid positions. So congratulations, and we'll be looking forward to, Benjamin, what you can do, Thomas, if you're back next week in Mexico. So thank you all for watching. Make sure you tune in this time next week, and for what will certainly be another great round of VRL. So thank you for watching, and we'll catch you next time.